Hey everybody, it is a beautiful day, going to be a beautiful weekend after we've had some cold and now it's warming up. Let me show you, there's the girls heading out, walking out through the pasture, and we have some that are getting a little close. Matter of fact, today, tomorrow will be their last days in the pasture. I'll explain that in a bit. Changed around. I got things changed. There he is. What are you doing, Cash? Huh? He gets the whole backyard now. Yeah, I had a small pen for him. There he is. But now he gets the whole backyard. He gets the whole area. Dub. There's Dub. Now, she is not one of the first ones, but she's a couple days after the first ones. And starting to bag up just a little. We're getting a little bagging up in there. They still got about a week or so. Today, what we're going to talk about. I had somebody contact me the other day. We talked about it. It says, I don't know, I got one I think is getting close. What do I do? And that got me thinking, yeah, there's a lot of people. This is going to be the very first time you bought some sheep, you bought the ewes, you got a ram, you put them together. You were going to have lambs, and now you're getting close. You thought, oh my God, I'm about to have lambs, and I have no idea what to do. So that's what we're going to talk about today. What to do to be ready. What do you need to do? And the nice part is, with the painted deserts, you don't have to do much. They kind of take care of themselves to a point, at least. They'll pretty much handle everything. Not a lot you have to do on your part. First time moms, and if you bought lambs and started that way, you're going to deal with first time moms. Then, yeah, then sometimes you can get a little bit. But the main thing is not so much what you need. And that's what I was asking. Okay, what do I got to have on hand? What do I need around? It's more of what do you need to be ready to do? Because what you need to have on hand is really kind of minimal to get by. And we'll go to that in just a little bit. But let's start out. Let me figure out where Cash went. And then we're going to sit down and figure out what do you need to do? All right. Decided just to hang the camera up, then I didn't have to hold on to it the whole time while we're talking. First off, I mentioned they're going out to pasture, but last day or two. Gonna be nice today and tomorrow. First ewe is due in about 1 week. So I'm gonna lock them in. They're gonna stay out the next 2 days when it's real nice. Then, if you're watching this today, it's out, it's on Sunday. Nice day. Monday, the weather changed. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday. It's going to be cold, it's going to be rainy, maybe even a little snow if it gets cold enough at night. I'm going to lock them in. I'll probably open the door and give them more space under cover. Now, the main reason I'm going to lock them in, there is no right or wrong way to do this. You can just turn them out, let them go, give them a space where they can get out of the weather, out of the wind, out of the rain or whatever. They'll be fine. You don't have to do anything. They'll take care of themselves. There is no right or wrong way. In my case, I like to get them in. I like to keep them in. When I get a ewe that has lambs, I like to get them. I like to put them inside, small pen, let mom and lambs get used to each other for a day or two. If it starts to get a little crowded because I get a bunch, I might leave mom with lambs, this one over here with lambs. They might just stay 24 hours, and then I might put them together. Put 2 ewes and those lambs together. They can spend another day or two that way, and then they go out with everybody else. You don't have to do that. They're just fine out there on their own, but I like to bring them in. I like to make sure they're eating, and I can see them both nurse, and make sure mom takes them both, and we get along fine there. I want a chance for them to bond a little, especially first-time moms, get them to bond a little with them, then turn them out with everybody else. You don't have to do that. That's the way I like to do it. So I want to lock them in out of the pasture because I don't want a ewe way at the other end of the pasture with a pair of lambs and I got to bring them all the way back to the barn. All right, so I don't want to have to do that. So I'll lock them in. They do have this area, which is really enough, but I'm going to open the doors back into here on this rainy time, give them plenty of room. And then if somebody does lamb, they can go back in. I can close part of this off. And that way I can keep a couple back there if I want and still let the rest of them go. That's why I'm going to lock them out of my pasture. Do you have to do that? No. Just remember, do whatever you want, but this is the way I like to do it. And that's part of the reason when I had the mouflons before the painted desert, you couldn't get near them. They were in the far pen over there, and there was lambs that actually were over a month old. And that was the first time they were caught. That was the first time they were touched. And it was the first time I knew, did I have a ram or a ewe lamb, because you could never get near them. And I didn't really like that. I like the painted desert where I can be a little more hands-on with them. So it's whatever you want to do. You want to leave them out and let them take care of themselves, fine. You want to bring them in where you can get them in, that's another story. That's the way I like to do it. The second part of that is first-time moms. All right, they all know what they're supposed to do. You'll know what they're supposed to do, but the first-time moms, sometimes they don't know what they're supposed to do. And if you're going to have a situation, it's probably going to be a first-time mom. Now, this area, I didn't used to have this end on here. I used to have a small shed out here. That's when I had the black bellies and stuff. And here's a first-time mom. And you know, we talked about the cameras. This is where the cameras pay for themselves. Because I just happened to be in the house, I looked at the camera, and here's mom, and she's got these two little things chasing her around, and she's not sure what they are. She knows they want to chase her, she knows they want to eat her alive, and she's not going to let them get near her. So, but she wasn't mean to them. Now she just keeps backing off. Every once in a while they come up and she knows a little, but first time mom, she didn't know what was going on. But I saw them in the camera, and I had them in the pen. I was able to grab the two lambs. You put the two lambs in a tote. Usually if it's a mom that's with her lambs, you can usually hold the lambs and mom's going to follow you right in. I knew this one's not going to follow you in, so grab the lambs, you put them in a tote. Then I had to bring everybody in, sort them out, get mom, and I put mom back in, and I put the lambs back. Now, in this situation, got a bottle and fed the lambs a little colostrum to start with, because I knew they were following around pretty good. They hadn't been eaten, so we gave them a little bit of colostrum for each one so they had something going for them. I put way back in the catch pen the far end of it. I can close it off. It's an area about 6 foot by 9 foot. That's where I put them. That's where I left them. Again, which way are you going to do it? Some people are going to tie that ewe up or put her in a headstand so they can hold her and then get the lambs up to nurse. In my case, I didn't do that. I put them in that small area. I watched her, and I knew she wasn't mean to them. She just kept backing away from them. So she had all night in there with them. I knew they had something to eat before I put them in. So I figured they're fine in the morning. If they never eat again, they're going to be fine in the morning if I got to do it again. By the time morning came around, everybody's fine. They're eating, they're fine, everything's good, no problems. Not all of them are going to be that way, but in that case, it worked for me. I had another one that she took one, but she wouldn't feed the other. I ended up having to bottle feed the other one. So first-time moms, if you're going to have a problem, that's where you could have it, and that's where you're going to have to watch out. When you get a first-time mom, is she feeding that? Is she feeding them? If she's just a little scared the way this one was, fine, put them together, give them some time. But remember, some of them can be a little mean. They can headbutt them and knock them all over. So you got to watch them a little bit. But first-time moms are usually the only ones you're going to run into this. Usually your regular ewes are going to have no problem. They've done it before. They know what they're doing. They're going to be fine. So how much investment you want to put into, do you want to just let them go and see what happens? Or do you want them in where you can get them in and put them in yourself and put them in a small area? That's up to you what you want to do, but that's probably what you want to have ready. If you want to have anything ready, is where am I going to have a game plan? Where am I going to put them? If you want to know what that noise was, Cash was just up seeing one of the rams, and the ram decided he didn't like it, and he just headbutted the fence, and that just sent Cash all the way the other way. I think Cash is probably sitting on the porch of the house right now. But, sorry, get back to, if you want to have anything ready, decide, okay, I want to have a spot where I can put them. A spot where I can put a ewe with lambs, even if it's just for a day. That's what you might want to have. Now, you may never use that, but if there's anything you're going to have, it's going to be, if I got one that won't take them, the lambs, where am I going to put them? All right, where am I going to put her to give her a chance to see if she'll take them or not? And if she won't, what am I going to do with the lambs? All right, And that'll be as we get into what you're going to need in case you end up having to feed them instead of her. Otherwise, I'd say, you know what? Take care of themselves. You want to bring them in, just have a spot where you can lock one up. Otherwise, just have some cover. They can get out of the wind. They can get out of the rain. That's all they really need, and they're pretty good. So prepare yourself for that. Prepare yourself if you got a first-time mom that she's going to be scared of them, and she's going to be afraid, and she might not take them. She might need a little extra time and a little extra effort to go ahead and accept them and take care of them. That's about it for that. Now, product. What do you need to have on hand? So I got stuff. Let's go inside, and I'll show you what you probably should have on hand. Now, there are a lot of things you can have in a medical kit. I think I did a video quite a while back on that. Probably go back and look at some of the first videos. I probably had a medical kit and all the stuff you can put in it. For here, lamb milk replacer. This is colostrum replacer. They need colostrum the first couple days after they're born. They don't get colostrum from mom, they need it from you. And here, I got one left in here. These usually come like 5 or 6 of these little packets in a bag. I got another whole bag of these in the house. A small packet like that, we usually fill up a pop bottle with a nipple on top. You can probably buy these at any farm supply store. You can buy them online, veterinary supply houses. And I don't remember exactly, but I believe that packet will probably fill this bottle partway anyway. The nice thing is, if you got a lamb in or two, you can give them a little colostrum with a bottle, and they may not drink very much to be the first time around. Just take the bottle back in the house and put it in the fridge. All right? Now you're going to come back out and feed them 4 or 5 hours later, something like that, or they don't need any more. You'd leave it in there the next day, or 2 days later. You have another lamb you need. You want to give them a bottle, just take this out, put it in some hot water, warm it up, you're way to go. You can leave that in your fridge for a few days before you finally end up having to get rid of it. But you're going to want some colostrum on hand, just in case, and a bottle, and a nipple. That'll take care of that. We'll get into something else in a minute with that. A tube, in case you have to tube one. Now, if you get one that's real weak, real bad, basically here you're pouring milk in here, you're running this all the way down to their stomach, straight down in. You probably won't have to worry about getting into that one. Rarely do you have to do it. And you're probably going to say, I don't even know what I'm doing anyway, and you're fine. Be honest with you, I think I've had one occasion we've tried to tube one, and I didn't even tube it. I let my daughter do it because she's had to do that with her goats. I held it, I let her tube it. I've only done one. So in that case, we've only done one. You probably won't need to do this. But if it's something you want to have on hand for tubing, you can keep one on hand. You know, some people, you got a ewe that she doesn't clean right or this or that. You can have some LA200, an antibiotic. You want to give them a little extra energy. There's a vitamin B. You can have syringes and needles to give them shots. If you're starting out, if this is your first time, you know, if you're not familiar with any of this stuff, I wouldn't be real worried about that for now. Because basically what we're going to do, 9 times out of 10, everything's going to be fine. You're not going to have a problem, so you're not going to need anything like that. Yeah, you keep it on hand for that one time when you do need it. But for now, we're just talking, what do I do? I'm having my first lambs. Get some colostrum. Have some colostrum on hand, a bottle, some nipples. You got that, you'll probably get by 99% of the time and never need the other stuff. All right? Milk replacer. All right, next thing you're going to say is, well, milk replacer. You got to have that because you're going to give colostrum for 2, 3 days, 4 days, whatever. Then you can move to milk replacer. But what if you don't bottle feed? I didn't bottle feed anything last year. I used one bag of this last year because I thought I needed to try with one. I ended up throwing most of that bottle away. The year before, I did bottle feed, but what's the cost of a bag of milk replacer to have it sitting around and you never use it? So normally, normal conditions, I'd say, have your colostrum on hand, and then you can always, if you need it, to go buy the milk replacer. That being said, we all know what the supply chain issues are like and trying to find anything nowadays. Now, I happen to have 2 farm stores in the closest town that will sell milk replacer, and my daughter works for a place that's a seed dealer, but they also sell animal products, so I can get milk replacer where she's at. As long as I know she's got milk replacer, I'm not buying any. You know, if she tells me she's running down to the last bag of milk replacer, you got to make a choice somewhere along the line. But for now, you want to make sure you have some colostrum on hand. But man, if you're going to buy, I don't even know what a bag of milk replacer is, 50, 60, 70 bucks, something like that. You're going to buy one of those just to have it on hand. Normally, I would say no, I wouldn't do it. But look around. Check your local farm stores. Do they have any on hand? Talk to the people. Ask them about it. You know, if they got a whole pallet of the stuff around, you take a shot. If they got, well, we got 1 bag, and it's the last bag we've seen. You know, you hate to spend that kind of money and never use it. But it's kind of the way things are nowadays. I hate to say that. But for sure, colostrum. Find some of that. Get some of the caps and the nipples that'll fit on a bottle like this. Probably any farm store. I'd say if you had that, you're good. You're gold. All right, so watch your first-time moms. Make sure they're going to accept the lambs. Watch them. They're the ones to watch the most to make sure they accept. And if the lamb is drinking, if they got twins, make sure they're both drinking. They can have triplets. First-time moms probably are not going to have triplets. But a lot of times triplets can be fine. Sometimes you got to pull one and feed one. But for now, just have a space you can put them if you need them. If you want to bring them in, get yourself something set up. Heat lamps. If you got a really good situation, hang on just a second. Let me show you what I have. All right. This is the Premier 1 heat lamp. Probably the safest heat lamp you're going to find. Does a really good job. They're not cheap. They're not very cheap, but it's very safe. So probably could buy, you don't have to worry about that. A heat lamp is fine, but last year when I bought some used bred, they came from farther south. So when they came up here, they were bred for earlier. I had lambs last year on the 10th of February. All right. They were born around noon. It was 8 degrees. That night it was 24 below, and the next night it was 24 below. And I think I saw them spend maybe an hour under the heat lamp. The rest of the time they were just laying out by mom. Sometimes they were laying right by mom getting heat from mom. Sometimes they weren't even laying next to mom. 24 below, never used a heat lamp. Sometimes I do believe the heat lamp is more so for us than it is for them, is to make us feel like we're doing something good for them. But, you know, if the temps are fine, get them out of the wind, get them dry, that's all. Don't really have to have that if you don't want it. But then again, if it makes you feel better, you got one around. That's about it, guys. That's all I can think to get you through. I'm hoping by next week, maybe we'll have some of the little ones to share here. If not, maybe a few days after that. But if you get one coming, if you got some coming this first time, don't worry. They can pretty much take care of themselves. All you got to do is be there to watch them and enjoy it. Hey, see you in about a week or so.